TEKS 5BS, Linear Inequalities Notes. So we are starting a new TEK, so this is about linear inequalities. So over to the side of our notes where it says note, I want you guys to keep in mind that these inequalities, how to solve them, is similar to multi-step equations. So you're going to do the exact same steps as multi-step equations, except this time we need to pay attention to the inequalities. So what's important about the inequalities is that when we divide by a negative number, the sign flips. So that's very important. So when we divide by a negative number, the sign flips. So let's look at these examples. Number 1. So let me rewrite this. So I have 167 is less than 6 plus 7 parentheses 2 minus 7r. So just like multi-step equations, my first step is to distribute the 7. So when I distribute the 7, I get 7 times 2, which is 14, and 7 times negative 7r, which is negative 49r. And I'm going to bring everything else down, exactly like multi-step equations. Okay, from here I'm going to combine like terms. So I have 6 plus 14, which gives me 20, and then bring everything else down, minus 49r, 167. And then I'm going to subtract 20. So minus 20, and I have 147 is less than negative 49r. And then I'm going to divide by negative 49. Divide by negative 49. So when we divide by negative 49, let me pull out my calculator. Hopefully this gives us a whole number. 147. Oh, it's a whole number. Okay. So we get r, and then we have 3. So to figure out what our symbol is here, look at our original symbol. It was a less than symbol. Since we divided by a negative 49, it's going to turn into a greater than symbol. So that's our answer. R is greater than 3. So if we were to graph that on a number line, let's keep in mind that our symbols, so I'm writing this off to the side in our notes, that our symbols, when graphing them on a number line, have certain dots. So the less than and greater than symbol have an open dot that looks like this. That means it does not include and does not have the equal sign. If we have greater than or equal to or less than or equal to, this is going to be a closed dot like this. So since ours is a greater than, I'm going to have an open dot at 3. So I'm going to find 3, which is right here, and I have an open dot. And since this says r is greater than, this is going to point to all the numbers that are greater than 3. So this direction. Okay, good. Let's look at number 2. Okay, so number 2, we have 5, 6 plus 3r plus 7 greater than or equal to 127. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing. Since we see the 5 outside the parentheses, we're going to distribute. So when we distribute, we get 5 times 6, which is 30, and 5 times 3, which is 15r, plus 7. We're bringing everything else down. Then I'm going to combine like terms. So 30 and 7 gives me 37, plus 15r, bringing everything else down. Then I'm going to subtract 37. So 127 minus 37 is 90. And then I have 15r. So 90 divided by 15 is going to give me 6. So we have R and then 6. Since we divided by a positive number, our sign does not change. So this sign right here, that greater than or equal to sign, is going to stay exactly the same. Okay. So in order to graph this on the number line, since it's a greater than or equal to symbol, remember over here where I was talking about the symbols? This symbol is going to have a closed dot. So we're going to go to 6. We're going to do a closed dot. And this is saying all numbers greater than. So again, all numbers bigger. So it's going to go this way. Okay. Good. Now let's look at word problems. So off to the side where it says don't forget, I don't want you guys to forget cubes. So cubes, let's remember what that stands for. So remember C stands for circle the numbers. U is underline keywords. B is box the question. E is write an equation. And S is solve and write a sentence. Okay, remember cubes. Okay, so the first part of cubes is circle all the numbers. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to circle all the numbers. So I have 500, I have 200, 25. Okay, good. Then I'm going to underline some keywords. So let's see. It says Keith has $500 in a savings account at the beginning of the summer. So beginning means something that he started with. He wants to have at least, that's an important keyword, at least. At least means greater than or equal to at least $200 at the end of the summer. He withdrew means minus $25 per week. This per week is going to tell us our variable X. And the next part is to box our question. Our question is how many weeks can Keith withdraw money from his account? And so now with all the information that we looked at, we can write our equation. So it said that he started with $500, so 500. He wants to withdraw $25 per week, so withdraw minus $25 per week, X. And he wants at least $200, at least $200. That means he can have more than $200, but he wants to have at least $200. So this is what our equation looks like. And then from here, we're just going to solve. So I'm going to subtract 500. Subtract 500. I get negative 25x is greater than or equal to negative 300. And then when I divide by negative 25, let's see what we get. So dividing by negative 25, so I have 300 is 12. Since we divided by a negative, the sign flipped. So if we were to write this in a sentence, this would say that Keith can withdraw money for 12 weeks. Keith can withdraw money for at least 12 weeks. Okay, so we did all of our cubes. Okay, let's look at the next problem. First, I'm going to circle all my numbers. So let's see, I have a number here, and a number here. Underline my keywords. It says a taxi charges a flat rate of $1.75 plus an additional 65 cents per mile. That's my variable X. If Erica has at most means less than or equal to $10 to spend on the cab ride, how far can she travel? So that's our question. How far can she travel? Okay. So let's set up our equation. So it says starting off with $1.75 plus an additional 65 miles, which we denoted as X. At most, remember we said it was that symbol, $10. Okay. So when we solve this, if I subtract $1.75 from 10, so $10 minus $1.75 is $8.25. So I have 65 cents X is less than or equal to 8.25. When I divide by 0.25, notice I am dividing by a positive number, so that means my sign will not flip. I'm left with X is less than or equal to about 12.69. And so if we were to write that in the sentence, it's saying that, did they give a name here? Yep, Erica. Erica can travel at least 12.69 miles. Okay. So what I want you guys to do next is go over these notes again if you feel like you've missed anything. If not, you're going to start on these practice problems below. So I gave you guys 8 practice problems just on linear inequalities and graphing them. Remember, the skills you're using are multi-step skills. And then I gave you 2 word problems to practice as well. Make sure this is done in your notebook.